Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. These are the 5 things we learned from Manchester United 1, Arsenal 3. I was about to say Manchester United 3, right? Arsenal 3, Manchester United 1. 5 things we learned. Make sure you smash a like on the video and also subscribe. It's a beautiful Sunday. I mean, after beating Manchester United every day until we play West Ham, it's going to be a beautiful day. I'm by far. Beautiful day. But what exactly did we see in that game? What are the major points and what are the major talking points of the weekend for Arsenal? Number 1, in that game, let's talk about Martin Ødegaard's class for a minute, lads. Let's pause and talk about Martin Ødegaard. Yesterday, we literally didn't talk about Ødegaard. We talked about Saka, the goal. We talked about Xhaka. We talked about Nuno Tavares, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and Cedric Soares. But we really didn't get time to talk about Martin Ødegaard and the key role he played in that game. I think Manchester United, when they go back and review that game, they will understand one mistake they did. They focused on Saka, they focused on other players, and they forgot the master, the architect on Arsenal, and that is Martin Ødegaard. What a blessing that Arsenal have Martin Ødegaard, and what an opportunity for us to have such a player. I think, honestly, I'm going to make this prediction on this podcast right now. He will become world class. He's going to be world class. He's got the potential, but I think he's one of those players that will fulfill his potential. Him and Gabriel Martinelli, I see a lot of realization of their dreams. Very good players, very, very important players for Arsenal. But in that game, like I told you yesterday, Arsenal had a very, very good first half and then a very, very poor second half. Martin Ødegaard, in the first half, literally ran the show, and Manchester United didn't know what to do about him. He's one player that can sit deep and just create that, because we play the 4-2-3-1. So literally, he can fall deep, get the ball from deeper areas, and helps us to make a 4-3-3, or he can join the attack for us to play a 4-2-4, right? And I think that is what really disturbed Manchester United yesterday. They couldn't track him. He was creating all sorts of problems around the midfield from deep and from advanced areas of the pitch. The penalty, for example, I think those quick combinations between him and Saka should be stopped, right? That is too easy. That is way too easy, but way too brilliant from Saka and Martin Ødegaard. And I think it's a problem that many teams are facing, and it's not going to be easy to stop, to be stopped, because many people say Saka is not as good as we think, or probably you're right. But why you cannot stop Bukayo Saka? Saka is good on 1v1s. Saka is good in quick combinations, and Saka can run off the shoulder. So such a player, you're literally not going to lock him away that easily. And we've seen it in clubs like when we're playing City, when we're playing Liverpool, he's always up to the task. And this is a player that is playing unfit. Just give me a minute. Let's speak about Saka. Saka is playing unfit, and I think this is a problem for Arsenal. We need to get some rest for Saka. Honestly, we need to get some rest for Saka. Martinelli, for me, is getting more resting time than he deserves. Great player, but I think he should be rotating with Bukayo Saka, and Mikel Arteta knows this, because we've seen, especially at the 70th minute, 75th minute, Saka is off. Saka is tired. He's playing with injuries, and I think that is a problem that we really need to address. I think for the rest of the season, let us give him at least 60 minutes on the pitch. The rest of the 30, you bring on Nicola Pepe, you bring on Gabriel Martinelli. We just need to rotate him. But yesterday, lads, Saka, Ødegaard, real class. Yesterday, Martin Ødegaard, real class, and I think that is we've already said it. That is what a player like Martin Ødegaard gives you. He just gives you that that ability to break through the lines, just gives you that ability to, crack down your opponent, cause all sorts of problems for their defensive shape. He runs into it, and then creates overloads onto that, attacking front. Then we have 4 players, and then he can run away from it and then start causing all kinds of problems by designing attacks from afar. And that's what he was doing against Manchester United. Literally, He set up Edin Ketia for a shot. I think that should be a goal. If it is a serious striker, that is a goal, right? But then Eddie doesn't take it. Then it sets up Saka. Teles, with all his madness, is battling Saka to the ground. That's a penalty. And more incidents. Very, very many more incidents in that game. So, Ødegaard, I thought it was class. The next player that we need to talk about is Mohamed Elneny. Elneny, I think that was a masterclass from Mohamed Elneny. And that is my second point. Look, I think without Thomas Partey, Arsenal did struggle for 3 games. We struggled. Because even in the first game, when he was around, it was like he was not around. I think he had already sustained the injury, but he was trying to push on. He was trying to play with that injury. The next 2 games, we played Albert Sam Lokonga in a single pivot, and it really didn't go. It didn't go down well. I thought Arteta, made a very, very, clever move. He decided to go for Mohamed Elneny and Xhaka against Chelsea and Manchester United. Mohamed Elneny is not the best footballer. For me, he's not even a good footballer, in my opinion. And many people are going to say, oh, Cossy, how can you say that? He's world-class. He can have world-class performances, but he's not a world-class player. It's not even, look, he's not a proper footballer, honestly. But what I love about Elneny is he works hard and, he works harder than any other player on the pitch. And that is what I think Chelsea, Manchester United, suffered from him. Look, his passing accuracy is okay, but not fantastic. I don't think he has these passes that break through the lines. His dribbling is awful. Ball progression awful. Progressive passes, no. But he just works hard. And when you lose the ball, especially in the midfield, because it's different from when you lose the ball high up the pitch. When you lose the ball high up the pitch, you can decide to press high, or you can decide to fall into a low block. But when you lose the ball next to your home, next to your goal, there are problems, right? There are problems because literally those are it just creates those mini counterattacks. And yesterday, Cedric was literally awful. Literally awful. I think Cedric's day was served by Mohamed Elneny. Elneny was really working hard, and I thought if Fred was on that pitch, it would have been a beautiful contest between Fred and Mohamed Elneny, who works harder, covers a lot of ground. He covered a lot of ground against Manchester United. He was literally flying into every tackle. What didn't he do in that game? So I think he had a masterclass performance, and he really helped us in terms of going forward. Because Ødegaard, as an architect, you want Martin Ødegaard to be playing just above the central midfielders and defensive midfielders of your opponent. You don't want him to be on top of you don't want him to be on top of the DM. You want him to be slightly ahead of him, because I don't think Ødegaard is like Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne is by far the best for me. CM, whatever kind of player is, he's the best at that. Because with Kevin De Bruyne, he can manage to sit on top of players like Fabinho and beats them throughout the 90 minutes. I think Martin Ødegaard is not yet there, there yet. So you need players like Xhaka, Partey, and Elneny to give him that kind of backup, to do the hard work for him, and then for him, he can do the thinking for the club. And we saw it yesterday, and we've seen it all the time. When Partey is good, when Elneny is good, when Xhaka is good, Ødegaard has a very good game, because it's literally easy for him to get the ball. He receives it very, very easily in those areas that he wants it in, and then he can easily make that final pass. So Mohamed Elneny yesterday, I thought he was really, really blossoming. But also when you talk about Elneny, you've got to talk about Xhaka. That goal from Granit Xhaka was absolutely what we needed. It came at a time when we could not ask for anything else apart from a third goal. United were all over us. They had gained momentum, and I showed you the momentum bar yesterday in the match reaction. Make sure you do watch my match reactions. I showed you the momentum bar yesterday. United, the moment they conceded the third goal, their momentum bar died off. They literally died off. It was over for them. They couldn't do anything else. They literally had no other actions in that second half the moment they conceded. And that's why I thought, United fans thinking that they should win the game because they had 20 good minutes throughout the 90 minutes. That was shit. That was absolute shit, right? You don't play only 20 minutes and win a game. You need to play both halves and need to play very, very well. So I thought Elneny and Xhaka, they did a very, very good job with Martin Ødegaard. But point 3, Mikel Arteta deserves all the credit yesterday. We panicked. Personally, I panicked, and I know many Arsenal fans out there really did go on a shouting span during the game because we were dying. We were literally dying. Cedric was shit. Tavares was giving away the ball without any pressure, and I was thinking to myself, bring on Rob Holding and also bring on Tomiyasu before it gets worse. But Mikel Arteta held his might. He said, I'm going to trust this team, and he did. And at times, that is what pays off, right? Because, making substitutions can make a team better, or it can actually weaken your team. Because as players come into the game, they have not gotten used to the atmosphere of the game, and they're not used to the tempo of the game. You don't know what's going to happen. They might come in and then just commit 1 or 2 mistakes, and then they cost you. We've seen that all the time. So it was brave from Mikel Arteta, one, to play Nuno Tavares, who scores and literally destroys everything, that moment by doing a lot of mistakes, and also to trust Cedric Suarez almost up to 90 minutes, almost, right? So I think it was very, very brave, very, very, very brave from Mikel Arteta. But why I think it deserves the credit in that game over Ralf Rangnick is Ralf Rangnick saw that United were on top of us in the second half. For me, that is when he needed to act as a manager. He didn't. He thought, instinctively, you need to either bring on a striker, you need to either throw on a Marcus Rashford, you need to do something. You need to do something. He didn't do that. And Mikel Arteta, I think tactically, was better than Ralf Rangnick because we saw around 3 tactical changes within the same game from Mikel Arteta. In the first one, we went for it. We were all over Manchester United, and it was an Arsenal spell at the beginning of the game. And then when United had a spell in the second half, Arsenal fell into a low block, and we were only trying to live through the moment. All we wanted was the moment to pass. United missed penalties. United dive into the box. Ronaldo scores offside goals. We wanted to go through the moment, and we fell into the low block. And it's a very, very good thing for me to do because, when a team is in a spell, you just need to act professionally. You just need to be disciplined. You need to do the basics right. You just need to be calm. And I thought we were very, very calm. But then the other thing that I saw in that game was the game management after we scored the goal. When we scored a goal at around 70, 74, 70, 76, right? The third goal. Then we changed from sitting into a low block or being all over Manchester United and we started, game management. Get that ball, pass it around, give it to United pass it around, get it back. And I'm telling you lads, by the end of the game, I was very comfortable. It was very, very comfortable. The last 15 minutes of that game, it was so, so comfortable, right? United didn't try to do anything in the last 10, 15 minutes of the game. It was so comfortable for Arsenal. But those are three spells. I think the low block was a risky one because we invited United onto us at our own stadium, in our own backyard. We invited United onto us and we made them a quality side than they are, right? No doubt they have some good players, Ronaldo, Bruno, Matic. They have some good players in there, but we made them look better than they are. But in the end, it is these 3 statistics: goals scored and points collected. And Mikel Arteta deserves all the credit in that game. Number 4, we are back in the top 4 race, and we are leading it by 2 points. Look, that was the meaning of that win. That was the essence of that win. Because I told you, against Chelsea, go and play for respect. That is what Arsenal had to do. Play for respect. There was no reason for us to play for top 4, right? Because it was, it was the gap was widening. But we needed to play for respect. We needed to go and show the world that we cannot lose 4 games in a row. Like, we're not that bad. And we did that. And that's, ultimately opened up our chances for the top 4. And beating Manchester United, Spurs failing to win, it's a good weekend. We are back in the top 4. We are leading the top 4 race with 2 points, and we are now on the same number of games as Tottenham Hotspur, with of course Spurs coming on the 12th of May. So for me, lads, happy days. Arsenal back in the top 4. I can't ask for more. And finally, United are finished. Look, United are finished. This is not me as an Arsenal fan, but this is me trying to look at Manchester United as a club collectively. What is that? What is that? You cannot defend properly with Harry Maguire on the pitch. You cannot defend properly without Harry Maguire on the pitch. Honestly, lads, the first goal they conceded against Arsenal, that is absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. That is horrendous defending. That is abysmal. You cannot defend like that. You can't. You simply can't defend like that. That is, I don't know. You really can't. You can't. But away from that, many Manchester United fans have put a case on the table that they deserve something in that game, right? But Arsenal scored more goals than them, and we had the same opportunities. Diego Dallo had a shot outside the box. So did Xhaka. Xhaka is on target. Diego Dallo isn't. We had a penalty scored from Saka. They had a penalty as well. We had a goal inside the penalty area from Tavares. They had a goal as well from Ronaldo. We had the same chances, right? And they didn't take theirs, and we took ours. But I felt like, apart from those 20 minutes there was no real quality. You didn't feel like United had any real quality. And I think, look, we play West Ham next. That is a good game. It's a North London derby, but also we're playing a spirited team with a lot of character. We're playing a team that is enjoying a very, very good season. We're playing a team that is, potentially going to win the Europa League if nothing changes. So I think Manchester United need to rethink before they act. They really need to rethink. I don't know how long this rebuild is gonna take, but it might take them some time. But anyway, lads, those are my 5 things we learned from Arsenal 3, Manchester United 1. Help me hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well, and I'll be sure to speak to you in the next episodes of Arsenal Transfers coming up shortly.